I'm nobody. I'm nobody. All the times people said, Marge, put your mom in a home. Go have a life. Live a life. It's your life. You know why I'm nobody? Because I kept mom. Nobody does that. Who does that? Who does that? Without any help from any agency or doctors or who does that? Who moves from state to state just to keep their family together and lives in freaking conditions that at one time I would have considered far beneath me and my standard of living back when I was on 3D Earth. I don't live on 3D Earth. I visit 3D Earth sometimes. Go this way, honey, pretty girl. What's the room out there? Go this way. No, don't go that way. Nope, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to touch it. Go that way. Come on. Go up there. Go up the stairs, up the back. I didn't mean to touch you. I'm sorry. Don't touch the little dog. Yeah. What was that? You okay? You pissing this? Ugh. You kissing me? You kissing me? This okay? What, I didn't even hardly touch you and you did it. Yup, you did that all the time. That's why I can't trim her nails. She's been exaggerating things for a long time. What did I do with my coffee? We have stuff to talk about. I like my coffee. I just had it. There it is. Is this a pretty girl? Dude, no earth in your chart makes everything extra. It's hard to stay grounded, no earth. If it weren't for a couple of my placements, woo! I probably would have succumbed to my addictions a long time ago. My only vice left. Sometimes, hi Hazel, that's a nice name. I got Hazels in my history, and I don't have any feelings of ill will towards anybody named Hazel. Hello, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka, I'm a contrarian. I talk about my life because it's backwards from everybody else's. Good day, salutations. These are stickers that I give out because I'm autistic, and this is the rainbow wheel, color wheel. It says straight people like rainbows too. It's cheeky because I'm not. You come to Taos, you go around town, sometimes I stash them in places for people to find it. I'll try and find metal surfaces to put them on, but people don't. They're like Easter eggs. Something I can do to give back, because my coat has my name on it, and I was in the U.S. Air Force, and this country's a lie, and that's largely what my whole shtick on YouTube is talking about how America's built on butt stuff. You know? People are figuring it out. I just had to let people figure it, just speak my truth here and share my experience, strength, and hope, and other people, they're going to start catching on when they start figuring out that their dads are in lavender marriages and stuff. So, they want you to make you believe that they're big, strong men. I wonder how many Marines are Pisces and Cancers and Virgos that have all that feminine energy, but they're overcompensating because they just want to be held in little spoon. If it wasn't true, the United States government wouldn't have spent $58 billion on boner pills last year, and that number just keeps going up every single year. See, because they call it national security, because they don't want people to know what it takes to get these men to feel like men so they can go out and destroy things. Because we're just supposed to create things, and if more beings on this on this earthly plane were balanced with their masculine and feminine energies, and weren't trying to overcompensate or undercompensate in one of them at all times, the world would be a much better place. There would be a lot more lovely dwellings for all kinds of people. But there's beings on this plane that aren't human. And they've been in control for a very long time. And they can't sustain it anymore because they cheat and they lie and they steal. And there's too many people that don't do that. They don't want to live that way, and they don't want to put stuff in their butt. Even if it's just because your birthday and you ask real nice. Like, why anybody would want to do that? That is an exit-only system. But there's things that gotta make it weird and creepy. And they run America. See, I'm related to them. I'm related to these beings. My relations is go back from Isaac Walton. I have relatives that were in the room when the Constitution was signed, because all the men, all the important people in my family were all Freemasons. And, well, people are starting to figure out what those guys are all about, aren't they? Just lying and cheating and stealing and weird butt stuff in their secret rooms with their little pretty aprons on. I remember when I was growing up, I was 15, they put me in one of those rainbow girl things, and I was like, this is stupid. They tried to put me in brownies, and I was like, this is stupid. I just want to go out and ride my bike and hang out in nature and watch the fish and the birds and the deer and all the other things that are out there that people don't see because they're too busy with their controller in their hand serving something of this 3D earth that is not going to do anything to advance their lives and make it better. I'm just nobody. Don't worry about me. I'm nobody. I talk about how Washington, D.C. and Hollywood, they're the same. They're not any different. Both exist to get people to believe in things. And then if they believe in it, that is how reality is created. Perception is reality. And if you insert a perception for the population of people, that reality will come true. And so they're always putting stuff out there for people to be afraid of. Be afraid of this. Be afraid of that. Dude, all the stuff that I needed to be afraid of happened when I was a baby and I was a little girl and I didn't have any power and I didn't have any control and I couldn't fight off the bad guys. Well, what happened was I got to a certain age and I got to a certain age where stupid stuff doesn't matter. So people that say dumb stuff, they're not even on my. You just don't pay them any mind. You just ignore them because they're just trying to get you off your center. Those are the people that are into butt stuff. People that try to get you off center, try to get you to come out of your character because they don't have any character and they just want to flick you around like a booger. Unuseful idiots is what they are. I grew up with one as my brother. My dad's one. That's how I know where they are, who the jerk is in the classroom, because if they feel anything like my jerky dad and brother, because these guys are the guys that said, you want to know why we give you such a hard time? So you'll learn how to protect yourself in this world. And I'm like, well, isn't that interesting that asshole men have to be asshole men to support evidence that men are assholes? And when they get really mad? When you don't want their wiener. When you find them less than. You know how many people are married because of the quiet types? It's a low hum in there. They're not thinking about ways to create an environment that's good for everybody. They're thinking about ways that they can get her to do more for him. And she thinks that he's working real hard. I always worked in male dominated careers. When they go home and they put their couch up on their feet up on their couch, and they want their kids to take off their boots and their wives to bring them dinner because they're the provider, understand they're not working very hard. I was there. I saw them. I got out of the military. I never wanted to do more than 6 years. I enlisted to go to college. That was it. And then it's a show. Like I said, DC and Hollywood are the same, and only DC gets the big budgets. People think that military members are so poor and they have it so bad. It's fucking bullshit, dude. There's no reason why any officer to have more money than God, but they do. They do 20, 25 years, they get their pension, and then they get hired on one of their buddies that they served with that went over to the private sector, and then they go overseas and they work as a contractor for 400, 500 grand a year because it's a dangerous place that they're working in. But we bombed them, and that's what made the place dangerous. And then they have parades for that stuff. That's the stuff they have parades for. And they want people to say, oh, this is America! We gotta love this country! No, America's built on butt stuff. Creepy backroom stuff, man. If the American public had any idea all the gross stuff that happens in the White House, you probably wouldn't care that they're tearing it down. It probably smells like an adult bookstore. It's probably what it smells like. Or like the living quarters for all the Jesuit priests at Creighton University. It smells like locker. It's just gross. Because DC and Hollywood are the same. DC and Hollywood are the same. And Americans eat it up. They'll believe whatever they see on the TVs. And now they're going to believe whatever the intelligent artificials tell them. Because they don't have enough sense to meditate or treat your soul sack, your vessel, in a manner in which it should be treated. No, not America. America's too busy chasing sensations, and then while they're chasing sensations, they're out there popping pills, doing whatever they can to disconnect themselves from source, from spirit. And then they go up on the internet and they tell you, listen to me, I'm a spiritual being. I'm an enlightened soul. But their eyes are all glazed from freaking too much liquor the night before because it was going down so easy. They got all kinds of attachments and weird shit. Because people don't even understand how much... There's straight up witches and stuff that do incantations over barrels of booze. So that that booze can be ingested, and the person that ingests it causes great harm. Causes great pain. That's weird. That's weird. But that's what they do in America. But hey, everybody's just trying to have a good time, man. It's just alcohol. It's so weird to me. Ever since I was a kid, first time I tried cannabis, I was 12 years old, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like finally I'm comfortable in my body. And then I didn't try it for a few more until I was 15. And then I started smoking it pretty regular when I could. But then I couldn't get it so much, so I would turn to alcohol. But the things I did when I drank, man, I just didn't like the person I became when I consumed. I wanted to be the but I'd always take it too far. And there's limits, and I could never tell where they were, because there's astrological placements, because there's energy potentials outside. And that sometimes don't mesh real good with my energy potentials from what I carry with me. The potential that stood in place at 11:01, the day I was born, 9th of April, the 99th day of the year. So I walk around in my soul sack with my soul until one day when I take my last breath and my soul ventures out to go on to my next life library called life. Because all we are supposed to do is learn lessons. We're just supposed to learn how to create. And then what do people do? They create destruction. You know, all America is it's about the contract. It's about money. And if people shift their focus to the quality and betterment of people around, you know why so many people do so many drugs and alcohol in New Mexico? Because they don't have an opportunity to do anything else. Because they try, probably if they feel anything like I did, you know, they said, you got to go to college, you got to be this, these are all the things you need to be to have the life that you want. And then I became all those things, and the life that I wanted never showed up. And that's when I was like, the American dream is a lie. That's when I discovered it. Is that it's about pushing products, not making sure moms feed their kids. Because I grew up, we didn't have enough food. And if people want to know what Mandela effects are, that's real simple. It's real easy. It's dissemination of differential data. That's what the Mandela effects. They just created a Mandela effect with the Farmer's Almanac. They just created I'm like, they do this shit, and I'm like, they're making Mandela effects. It's how you just keep people divided. It's this. No, it's this. It's both. They just did it with the Farmer's Almanac. Oh, it's not this one, it's that one. Oh, there's so many different versions. What should I believe is the one true thing when so many things are true? Yet so many things they say true aren't. Like the population of people, there's no way there's 7 billion people on this planet. There's no way. No way. Numbers, way lower. Because if this is good as planet Earth can get with the sum of all parts, there ain't no, I can't believe this is as shitty as things are with the sum of our parts on planet Earth right now. Like, this is as good. This is what people can create. You know what people create? That's why they have sports. So it's like, they won't be busy creating because they're going to be in the stadium or sitting on their couch watching 6 hours, drinking beer, doing nothing useful. So that way, when they start their next work week, they're already taxed and tired. Well, what are they living for? To sit on their couch for 6 hours? The next Sunday. Like, how much didn't get created on planet Earth because people sat someplace watching? To me, every time I see a football game, it's the same football game. It's one football game that is constantly being played by different people in different uniforms in different places. But as far as I'm concerned, they all should be wearing the same color uniform. They all should be, like, stats should just be piling up because it's one game. They just get so many people to participate in it. And it's all fucking bullshit for nothing. None of that stuff beats single parents. None of that stuff, you know. And as for holidays, why people even consider those in 2025? What the fuck is wrong with you? Still gonna perpetuate the bullshit of Santa Claus? How many people are homeless living in their cars now? Santa gonna fucking deliver to them? Come on. Do better, America. Think for yourself. You know, I don't even care if people agree with me as long as they're like, oh my God, somebody can think something different? That's so weird. Because I'm not a part of the program. I'm breaking the program. I'm busted out of the Matrix for the Marge tricks. I was heavily integrated to the program. And I'd participate and I'd go far and I'd win awards and I'd succeed big. And then I'd say, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. Like, of all the things in all the world that people could be doing, this is what they do? They gather and conference in Vegas, a town that is literally called Sin City. And then people are sad because it's dying. Oh well. Oh well. That's my attitude, like, these days. Whatever. So-and-so died in a wreck on, another hit, more life lost. More life lost in New Mexico because people don't value life. They have no reverence for life. They don't value how fragile life is. So if they don't find value in it, I'm not going to waste any of my life force energy being sad for having more reverence for their own life than they did for themselves. I'm not sad that my sister got killed in a motorcycle accident 3 years ago anymore. You know what made me sad? The fact that she has 5 kids and her 3 youngest kids didn't even know I existed. That's what made me sad. So, because I don't exist, because I'm nobody, see? I'm always nobody. Everybody I ever meet, I'm nobody. That's why I can act however I want. Because it don't matter. Because I'm nobody. But this nobody has done so much more with my autism and my nacho neurodivergence and all this stuff that other people get picked up and carried through life for having these challenges. Not old Marjo. She's nobody. You know why I'm nobody? Because I always done what nobody else would do. That's why I'm nobody. It's funny to me. So whatever happens to America, civilizations crash, they fall every 250 years. Oh well, I guess people should have worked harder to go out and make their community a better place, but not in this town in which I live ever. It's always the same groups. Oh, the reading to the kids in the library. Maybe the kids should read to you because in New Mexico, 29% of the population of 2 million can't read. So maybe people should stop trying to be their kids' buddies and make their role obsolete. Teach people how to take care of themselves. And don't teach them what you think you should do for them to take care of themselves. You know, one of the greatest challenges I've had to go through with my deprogramming in life is to learn how to treat mom autonomously. That means I don't get to be Marge with mom and just do this and do that and it's this day and wash your hair and it's this day. Because some days she don't want to. And I can't. She's her own spiritual. She's 5 planets Sagittarius. She's the traveler. I don't get to make her go nowhere. So I get to. It's like a puzzle trying to figure out all the ways to make mom comfortable and doing things that make me uncomfortable. See, and then I get to act like I'm comfortable all the time, but I'm not. Because other people's stuff is gross and it creeps me out. And people that have never taken care of anybody else but themselves, they have no idea what it takes. And just hope that you stay. For every person that has never had to take care of another human being, whether it's a parent, a child, I don't care, but you just go through solo, single world. Or maybe you even had kids and then you just had them to take care of you. Because lots of people do that. They have kids because they're just chasing that sensation, looking for that big O. Oh no! I'm responsible for another human being now. Aren't those unplanned pregnancies funny when every woman should know how their own body works? And if you don't want to have kids and if you don't want to get pregnant, keep your little knees locked. Keep them closed. Just abstain is the greatest. But no, it's their human right to chase. And it's so primitive. Such a primitive place. So this week, all the truths are coming out, right? People are going to start figuring out that people that meet behind closed doors, they meet do weird shit. They're not meeting to gather to talk about things to make things better for everybody because they don't want things better for everybody. That's what the demons are driving them to do, is serve themselves, and every man's for themselves. And when people put out an energy that like that, when people perpetuate and promote neglect, and there's so many people in America that are neglected right now, like there's no place they can go for help. I feel for them because I was there 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was potentially going to be homeless with mom. We had 5 little dogs between us, and my commitment was, and a cat and a bird. No, the bird died. But my commitment was to keep them in their whole life. Because it's a commitment. And how many people don't even know what a commitment is? And what's a commitment in 2025? You know what a commitment is? It's largely a part of being an integral person. It's when you say you do something, you're going to do it. Or if you say you're not going to do something, you're not going to do it. It's kind of a two-way street. But people are out here in America just blah, 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 blah. Words empty creates a hollow reality. Words fulfilled create a tangible reality. How many people are disappointed because frickin' somebody said that they're gonna do something and they just didn't? Like, all of that stuff counts in the collective sum of all parts. Whether things are gonna get better for people, or if frickin' creator is just gonna turn Earth into an etch-a-sketch like it's done in the resets. Whether it's people driven or outerly world, they all come together in congruence for the same outcome. And a lot of NPCs are wiped off planet Earth. Anybody else not really care that there's not snow on the mountaintops? I never got to go snowboarding and skiing. And when I did ask for what I wanted to, like maybe I could be really good at skiing, and then, my dad would want to hang out with me. Maybe I'd be important enough if I could do these things that he would find me cool. But it didn't matter what I did or how much ability and talent I had and how many awards I won in the Air Force, because when your parent hates you, you ain't gonna never do nothing to make them not. You just gotta let them go and, try and pick up the effects of what it's like to grow. I'm an anomaly. I have an absentee dad, but I don't got daddy issues. I didn't find no fucking dude 20 years my senior to complete me. Ew. 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 Because what? A 15-year-old mind in a 65-year-old man's body that's hot. All these freaking sugar daughters out here. I'm a special. I used to date a girl that was it's all of them. They're all Stockholm syndrome. It's not me. I'm the It's hilarious. So people get to make up their own world, their own. But when I go out, it's like a video game. When I go out in the world, it's like a video game. And the NPCs and the gold coins, they drive like Jeep Rubicons and Broncos and these like $90,000 vehicles that are half plastic and total crap, and maybe they'll last you a couple years, and and it's like. And people that have their labels and their Botox, and it's all money that they spend to portray a character. I didn't spend that much. 12. Standing turtles don't run. This is my necklace from Tulum. I got rings from when I was on Crete. They're my souvenirs of places that I've been and life experiences that I have. And then I go out and I be like, that's a cool necklace. Where'd you get that? People are like, Walmart. Well, I guess we aren't of the same frequency. Good day. There is a book when I was a young girl called Go Dog Go. And there's this is how I learned that you could agree with people and disagree with, you could agree to disagree, and you don't have to like not have anything to do with them forever, right? You don't have to do that. You can disagree and like, I learn from people that I'm not like more than people that I am like. And so they had a oh shit. The earth element is underrepresented in your birth chart, even more weakened by the transit planets. You should be careful not to overcompensate possible lack of dependence, strong responsibility, and caution. You may struggle to find the motivation at this time. Perhaps you feel all is for nothing. Nonetheless, you feel restless to do something. Avoid making any heavy or important decisions right now. Invest in time in helping others. That's what I do. That's what I do. I don't go out of the house unless I have a reason. It seems like every time I go out, there's always somebody to help. There's always somebody to help. I tried to help people yesterday. I ended up breaking their light. And then I found them later after I went to the ATM and gave them $100 so they could fix their light. Right? Because that's what you do. You help people. As they was just trying to get them out of the intersection. Chantel's a That's funny. All the inverted. You know how people talk about the inverted? I think that they did that. They've been fucking with me since I was a baby. They've been putting stuff into me since I was a little baby. I'm not gonna go with the program. I resist their control. I resist it. I'm not gonna do their stupid reindeer games because I think it's stupid. Because things like politics are dumb. My brother went to college back in the 90s, early 90s, 89, 90s, and he would take class like political science. And I'm like, that isn't even, like, what is that? Reindeer game. It's just a course. And then later, I went and worked in universities, and I was like, what are these courses? They're rooms that you have to sit in and listen to stuff. So when you go get the job that's already yours, you can speak the right lingo. That's what education is. It sets people up to be the right character, the right actor. It doesn't matter what grade you get. You're already got a seat at the firm because of who you are and who you're related to. But that nepotism never did me any favor. That's why I'm so easy and free to speak trash about clubs and groups, because as far as I'm concerned, they're all lame. Anybody, like, I've been a part of a lot of different groups, and even when I was in the military, I was supposed to be a lineman. I was supposed to be a pole climber. I was supposed to be up there hanging electric wires and playing with transformers and doing all that stuff. And then the day I showed up to ship off in MEPS, my period started. And so I was 3 pounds over, so they wouldn't let me ship. And then they're like, you have to come back in 3 weeks. You get a week to burn off every pound that you're over. And then when I came back in 3 weeks, it was the last day of the fiscal year. So the money books were closed. So there was no slot for me to go to. So they said, what do you want to do now? And I was like, well, how about age? Because there's a $6,000 sign-on bonus, and I owe my brother money, but he would never tell me how much money I owed. It was like I was supposed to just keep paying him until he felt like whatever debt was due. Whatever. He's kind of a douchey dude anyway. He's designated that as his character from long ago. And so anyway, it don't matter because the lines are all syncing up right now on the wall. They're all lining up. Like truth holds a frequency, and it always comes out. It's like a sliver that gets down into your flesh. It's not going to stay down there. At some point, it's going to fester up and it's going to pop out. And there's a lot of systems that are put in place to control the narrative because they want to keep their power. They want to keep their illusion of control. And they can't even control their own fucking bladders and their own colons and stuff. You know, that's why. Or their own, you know, cravings for freaking weird food that isn't even good for you. Just puts on extra pounds that your poor little skeleton's got to carry around. You know, but these are the important folks. I'm excited for this week, for Thursday. I'm excited for so many people to be terribly embarrassed. That's what I'm excited for. Scumbags. All the Pastor Jeromes, all the creeps, all the people that I just had to freaking, ew, I don't want to see that. And just stay away from them. Stay away from people like that. That's why my circle's a dot, is because people are so creepy and gross and self-serving that I don't physically have the energy to cater to all their earthly desires, and it's lame. The false prophets that people think that these people are such wonderful human beings, and they're dastardly. Like they all, the same thing happens if they're allowed to get old. Is they're all sitting there thinking about what a great life they have, and they really don't deserve it. That's why people go mad. It happened to my grandma. My grandma treated my mom so bad, which made it hard for me and my brother, and which still creates disdain in our family today, all these years later, because of stuff that happened then. Just because people play with people like toys, like pawns. And there's consequences to that, dude, because people don't understand and recognize universal law, and what you put out comes back to you, y'all. And why is America in a third world country now? Why that's, as a matter of fact, is because we largely contributed to creating third world countries and places that we have no business in. But some under-emasculated males want to go over there and boom, blow things up because it makes their little pecker hard. And then they run out of stuff to blow up. So what happens? What happens? They come back here, they can't blow up stuff to get their pecker hard to make their wives happy. So what do? $58 billion in boner pills in America every year for the military system. It's not how men are supposed to act. I always thought men are supposed to be the protector, not the imposer of destruction. All we're supposed to do is create. That's it. Create gardens, places to live, environments for people like mom that, can't take care of themselves, and kids that are, autistic, and their parents, something happens to their parents, and, we want to create environments for everybody to be comfortable. And because when they're not traumatized, they're not adding more shit to the world. And they want to learn how to be productive and be a part of their environment. Everybody has a place. Everybody has a purpose in this world. Even nobody's like me. That's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a rad day. Peace. How you doing, Mom? About